Artificial sweeteners have long been marketed as a guilt-free alternative to sugar, promising the same sweetness without the calories. Yet, accumulating evidence continues to suggest that these substitutes are far from harmless. A new study adds to the growing body of research showing that sucralose, a common artificial sweetener sold under the brand name Splenda, may have unexpected effects on the brain, specifically in ways that could increase hunger rather than suppress it. The findings reinforce concerns that artificial sweeteners might not only be ineffective for weight management, but could even contribute to long-term metabolic disturbances, potentially worsening the very conditions they were meant to help prevent. In a controlled trial involving 75 young adults, researchers found that drinking a beverage containing sucralose led to heightened blood flow in the hypothalamus, a brain region critical for appetite regulation. This response was starkly different from the effect of consuming real sugar, sucrose, which led to a dampening of hunger signals. 2 hours after drinking the sugary beverage, participants reported feeling significantly less hungry, whereas those who consumed sucralose saw no such reduction in appetite. The study suggests that the absence of actual calories, despite the perception of sweetness, may create a metabolic and neurological mismatch that could lead to increased cravings over time. Sucralose is often touted as a safe, calorie-free sugar substitute because it is hundreds of times sweeter than sugar, yet remains undigested by the body. However, the growing number of studies contradicting this perception raises serious concerns about its long-term effects. Researchers have found that consuming artificial sweeteners can disrupt glucose metabolism, alter gut microbiota, and interfere with hormones signaling related to hunger and satiety. In this latest study, sucralose did not trigger the same release of insulin and glucagon-like peptide 1, GLP-1, that typically occurs after consuming real sugar. These hormones play a crucial role in regulating blood sugar levels and signaling to the brain that energy has been consumed. The absence of this hormonal response may help explain why sucralose drinkers did not experience the same hunger-reducing effects as those who consumed real sugar. Even more concerning is the possibility that these effects are exacerbated in individuals who are already struggling with obesity. The study found that participants with obesity exhibited even stronger differences in their metabolic and neural responses to sucralose compared to those of normal weight. This suggests that artificial sweeteners may interact with pre-existing metabolic dysfunctions, potentially making weight loss even more challenging. If sucralose interferes with the body's ability to regulate hunger and cravings, it could create a cycle where individuals rely more on sweeteners to curb their sugar intake, only to experience heightened cravings and increased food consumption in the long run. The potential risks of sucralose consumption extend beyond metabolism and weight management. Previous research has linked the sweetener to DNA damage, negative effects on gut bacteria, and impaired glucose tolerance, raising broader concerns about its overall impact on human health. Despite being widely regarded as safe for decades, mounting evidence suggests that artificial sweeteners may have been given a free pass without sufficient long-term studies on their true physiological effects. The World Health Organization, WHO, has already issued a warning about non-sugar sweeteners, citing potential metabolic and inflammatory consequences. This new study adds yet another reason to approach artificial sweeteners with caution. Perhaps the most alarming aspect of artificial sweetener consumption is its prevalence in children's diets. As obesity rates continue to rise, many parents turn to sugar-free options in an effort to reduce their children's sugar intake. However, if artificial sweeteners are indeed altering the way the brain processes hunger and cravings, their impact on developing brains could be even more profound. Researchers are now conducting follow-up studies to determine whether sucralose has a lasting effect on the neurological development of children and adolescents. If these substances are influencing the hypothalamus in young individuals, they could be shaping eating habits and metabolic responses in ways that persist into adulthood. Despite these growing concerns, artificial sweeteners remain widely available and are often marketed as a healthier choice. With food and beverage companies continuing to promote them as safe alternatives to sugar, many consumers remain unaware of the potential risks. The lack of clear regulatory action further complicates the issue, as artificial sweeteners are still considered generally safe by food authorities despite emerging evidence to the contrary. The reality is that the science is far from settled, and until more long-term studies are conducted, we may be unknowingly exposing ourselves to metabolic disruptions that could contribute to obesity, diabetes, and other health issues. Ultimately, the assumption that replacing sugar with artificial sweeteners is a simple solution to weight management appears increasingly flawed. Instead of offering a shortcut to a healthier diet, these substitutes may be rewiring the way our bodies process food and regulate hunger, potentially leading to greater health risks in the long term. While it is understandable that individuals seek ways to reduce sugar intake, the best approach may not be to replace sugar with artificial alternatives, but rather to focus on whole, unprocessed foods that provide balanced nutrition without tricking the brain into expecting calories that never arrive.